I grew up with people, you know, like my dad and my dad's friends who are very, you know, ethics is everything. On-site trad climbing with no fixed protection is the purest form of climbing. But the thing is, the more I've travelled, the more I found that climbing is much more than that. I think our unwillingness to bolt definitely holds us back, climbing-wise, I'd say. But at the same time, it also gives a lot of character to routes that otherwise might not have as much character. I mean, there's loads of places where I've been to trad climbing and they have a bolt where the crux comes, or they have bolts at the top so you can wrap down the route safely, and so you find that people push themselves more, they're falling off more, and standards are higher. Whereas in the UK, people don't want to fall off as much, and they don't want to, you know, climb that piece of protected rock that's really nice, and then climb that piece of unprotected rock that's also really nice. I mean, they'll just stay away from it, because who wants to solo a grade that perhaps you on-site when you go sport climbing? It's definitely holds the UK back, I think. But at the same time, I don't want to go and bolt all these routes. It's a really contentious thing, and I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer to it. Well, a good high-end trad climber in the UK definitely needs different skills from a good high-end trad climber in America, for example. In the UK, they really need to be able to place gear quickly, I'd say. And just being able to make decisions quickly is really important. You know, like, okay, so here, this is the only gear I'm going to get, there's no more, so I need to make the decision to commit to the next moves and what those moves are going to be. And that's sometimes what I have trouble with, is just making the right decision. So usually when I've made the decision, I'm quite good at following it through, like, okay, commit to these moves, then, you know, but it's just making the decision is sometimes a bit difficult. Something I struggle with as well with trying to on-site hard trad is I just really don't know if I'm good enough to do it. And you are actually you are kind of putting your life in danger a little bit when you get on-site hard trad routes. And you sort of need that confidence that, you know, I'm more than capable of doing this route. And I've always found that, I don't know, compared to a lot of other professional climbers and people who you'd maybe put on the same level as me, climbing wise, I tend to be more unfit and not as strong as those people. So I've always tried to, instead of going training, which is maybe what I should do, I've always tried to make up for it by other things like placing less gear. But I don't live anywhere. I just go from trip to trip, from climbing trip to trip. So there's never a point now where I can train, really. There's actually not. But I mean, the way I see it is like, me going sport climbing is training for trad climbing. I mean, trad climbing is what I love to do, and although I enjoy sport climbing, I go sport climbing because it's the best way for me to gain fitness. Even sport climbing, you can miss bolts. If you're really too pumped to clip, you can just miss a bolt, and, you know, maybe missing that one bolt equates to like a week training in the climbing wall. You know what I mean? It might do, it might. And what's easiest? It's definitely missing the boat.